Welcome back. Let's talk about it. Y'all remember when they was comparing James Harden to one of the greatest scorers or some of the greatest scorers to ever do it, like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, but yet they don't bring up LeBron's name even though he's going to be the all-time leading scorer here soon, well, in the next year or so. But they were comparing him to like those type of scorers, those guys that, you know, didn't need the free throw line some games, even though they got to the free throw line, but not like James Harden. I just heard a stat. For 116 games last year, James Harden shot 15 free throws in 116 games. That's a lot of free throws, especially when you're shooting at an 89, 90 some percent clip. That's 14, 15 points a night right there. And now, and I am so happy for it. I can't help it. I am so happy. Now the referees are not giving him those calls when he's hooking players or throwing his arms or ball faking and just jumping into players. I'm loving it. And yes, James Harden is a good player. And yes, James Harden should still be feared. But I never saw this James Harden as a Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. We have to stop this as fans. Stop. Just stop. Yes, can James Harden score the basketball? Yes, can James Harden play the game of basketball? Yes, he can. Those are true statements. But let's break down the game. Referees were sending this man to the line so much he knew he had 10 plus points at the free throw line. Cool. Take advantage of that. But I always wondered, and I was always curious, if the referees stopped giving him these calls when he's blatantly looking for contact and not trying to score the basketball, what would his game look like? And it's early. But in these 5 games, I think we're seeing more of the real James Harden than the MVP James Harden. Am I saying James Harden is not a great scorer? I am saying that. He's a good scorer. When you think of great scorers, I think of names like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Karl Malone. The list goes on and on. Carmelo is a better scorer, I believe, than James Harden. I know what you're thinking. What are you talking about? Well, Carmelo just got 9th place in scoring. In Carmelo's prime, he could score with the best of them without looking for contact. James Harden literally goes to the rim and looks for the call. You can tell by the turnovers he's having. Did you see the game against Miami? It went out of bounds on him because he was looking for the call. He just threw his arms up. If the referees are going to ref like this all season, James Harden is going to be a top 15th player and not a top 10 player. Mark my words, but it's early. I don't think the referees are going to stay like this. I think they're going to start giving James Harden some of these calls, and it's going to look better for James Harden. But if they stay like this kind of Olympic refereeing, James Harden is going to struggle in a lot of games this season because he looks for calls. And that is not basketball. You play through calls and make the referee make the calls. James Harden, you're either going to have to adapt, and I understand you're saying you're coming off this hamstring injury and you're out of shape. Get in shape. But that's not the reason you're struggling right now. You're struggling because you're looking for calls. Bottom line. But this is an early season. We're only in 5 or 6 games for most teams. James Harden will improve. He will get into shape. But I do think he's going to struggle this year if the referees stay like this and don't give him calls. But until next time,